Welcome back to the Pull Podcast. As usual, your host, Big Jack. Here we have a very special guest with us today, Jared Flash Gordon.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. You made the schlep all the way from Florida, huh?
Dude, it's a long trip.
It's a huge trip. It's literally across the United States.
London or something.
Yeah.
In that time. But, you know, coming out here it's beautiful out here.
Yeah.
And
normally more beautiful.
Yeah, it's all right. I live in Florida. It's 90 degrees and sunny every day. So this is actually kind of cool. It reminds me of New York. Gloomy, rainy.
You get the seasons.
I'll take it. Yeah, exactly.
Right on.
We don't. There's no season. Well, it gets chilly in Florida, but there's still sun and palm trees.
Yep.
So it doesn't feel like, you know, the fall's coming or something like that.
Yeah.
So any cooler weather, I'll take.
Well, we're grateful that you made the trip out here for sure. And we know you have a powerful message. I'm a huge UFC fan. I'll just say that right off the bat. I thought you got robbed in the Paddy Pimblett fight. But that's such is life, right? And like listening to the interview afterwards, I could almost see your recovery in that interview.
You know, fighting, as you said, you know, these things happen in life. But fighting is ups and downs to the fullest. The highest, lowest lows. So it wears on you, man. And, you know, I've been fighting since I'm 17. I'm 37 now. So it's been a long, arduous career. And it definitely takes its toll.
Sure.
But, you know.
Just the humility that I saw, I guess I would say. You know, obviously I knew there was something there and there was recovery. Plus, it sounds like, you know, Richie Stevens was on. So he had set up the intro and we're grateful for that because getting fighters on the show is definitely something we've been trying to get to make happen.
I can help with that. I can help with that maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it sounds like you have a story. Do you mind just starting off and telling our viewers a little bit about like what it was like?
So I grew up in New York. Well, I lived in Queens for 17 years, but when I was like a young child, I lived in Nassau County in Long Island.
Okay.
My father was a blue-collar guy, but he did very well for himself. So we lived in a higher upper-class area on the North Shore of Long Island, and I had everything I wanted. I lived in a, 6-bedroom house. We had a pool, 3 cars, big property. I went to a great school there. There was no crime. Everyone was white, There was a few others, but they were like Asian or Indian, So everyone that I grew up around was either, Italian, Irish, Catholic, or Jews. My dad's a Jew. My mom's Sicilian. So yeah, that's where I grew up, and I never had to ask, or I was never in need for anything. Anything that I wanted, I had.
Good childhood then for the most part.
I had a great childhood. My dad did run amok as well, did his thing. He drank, he partied, wouldn't come home, shit like that. Stay out late. My mom's screaming, they're arguing. And that was like my first kind of like trauma that I guess I like experienced was, parents arguing, my dad not coming home, wondering where my dad is. I'm up late at night into early morning hours, wondering where the hell's my dad.
Did you feel safe, or was there that
I
safety
felt
that
safe,
was gone? Okay.
But I just was scared.
Sure.
So I thought my parents were going to get like divorced, and, my mom's screaming. And, like I said, she's Sicilian, it's, Italian. So like when she screams, and nasty, and, a lot of arguing. My dad got over it, got his shit together. And I got a little older. I was like 8 years old. My parents started sending us to sleepaway camps. And one year while I was there, I was sexually assaulted by a camp counselor, male counselor. And that was like the pinnacle moment of my life where, it changed me.
Forever.
And I started to cope with my emotions in terrible ways. I stuffed everything. I didn't tell my parents what happened. I didn't tell anyone. And so I kind of just lived with it. I started acting out, getting in trouble, fighting, not doing well in school. And shortly after that, I was 9 years old. I came home from camp that summer, turned 9 that September, school started. And shortly after that, I started smoking pot. We had some family friends that had kids that were like 13, 14, and they were smoking pot. And we all hung out together. And me, my older brother, and two other kids that were 13, 14, family friends that lived in the neighborhood. And, they were smoking pot, drinking, and we wanted to, me and my older brother wanted to do the same thing.
Sure.
So that's how it started for me. I started smoking. I mean, looking back, like 9 years old, smoking pot is a little ridiculous.
Yeah. If you look at a 9-year-old, it's kind of tough to imagine, right?
It's insane to think that, I knew what I was doing. And by the time I was 11, I was smoking pot every day. And I had met the local weed dealers. I could just make a phone call, hop on my bike. We had money. And it was just easy for me to, ride down the block and
Sure.
cop a bag of weed. And, I had my friends that were my age that started smoking pot. Parents would be at work every day after school. We're smoking pot. We started drinking, stealing cigarettes from our parents. And we kind of were just like being knuckleheads, and but it progressed fast. And by the time I was 13, I had my first experience with cocaine. But funny enough, like my dad used cocaine. And when I was like 7 years old, I remember so when my dad would go out late, I always used to ask my mom, like, where's dad?
Mm-hmm.
What is he doing? And she would be like, he's driving around. And I would be like, he's fucking driving around. What do you mean? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. What do you the fuck you mean he's driving around? So he would come home and pass out. And I would be like curious, and I would go into his car and I would look around and I would find like little, white stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like bumps of white stuff everywhere, like on the steering wheel or on the floor in the cup holder. And I was like, what is this? And I remember tasting it, my lips like getting numb and being, what is this? And then I remember when I was 13, I had my first real line of cocaine. It was like deja vu. I was like, holy shit,
Mm-hmm.
that's what that was when I was 7 years old. So, 7 years old, not necessarily getting high off cocaine, but tasting it, experiencing that numbness.
Yep.
Then I got assaulted, and then I turned 9, I started smoking pot. And at this point, by the time I hit 10, 11, I just wanted to stuff all my emotions.
Sure.
And when I found weed and drinking and these other drugs, I was like, this is it. And I remember saying to myself, like, I want to experience
more of this,
all of the feelings and drugs.
Yeah.
So as I got older, 14, 15, I'm, going to parties, hanging out with friends. We started experiencing all of it: ecstasy, pills, Xanax, Klonopin. And I didn't really have any experiences with opiates until I turned 18. I did try Vicodin once, but it didn't really do anything to me. It kind of just made me like nauseous feeling. And I was like, this sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really care for it. So when I was 12 years old, my father's business exploded. Sounds crazy. On Father's Day, it caught on fire, and it was a wholesale hardware business. Tons of flammable liquids, and it ended up exploding the whole building, and it killed 3 FDNY guys.
Jesus.
And it injured like 60 cops and FDNY guys. And it was the deadliest fire in New York City since 1969.
Wow.
This was Father's Day 2001, right before 9/11.
This segment of the Pulled Podcast is brought to you by Creekside Recovery.
So that happened. A few months later, we moved to Queens. And, living in Long Island, it was really expensive. My dad had lost, he was going through so much. His business burnt down. He had to rebuild the business. Lawsuits, all, the widows of the firemen were suing us and New York City. It was insane. If you look it up, it's called the Father's Day fire. It's like New York City history now.
Mm-hmm.
And then 9/11 happened, and it kind of just swept it under the rug. 9/11 sounds crazy. It was actually kind of like a blessing for my dad, because all the attention was on that. And then 9/11 happened, and there was no time to think about,
Right.
the hardware store. So we ended up moving to Queens. and I'm going to high school. So I'm in a neighborhood as a kid, all white kids, all white people. And now I'm living in Queens, Astoria, Queens, super inner city, super urban. And it's like the melting pot of America,
Yep.
that area. Astoria, Elmhurst, Jackson Heights, Corona, Woodside is like the melting pot of America. And there's like 160 different languages spoken in that like few mile vicinity.
Wild.
And now I'm going to school in Queens, in Long Island City, which was, my high school was literally down the block from Queensbridge.
Mhm.
Queensbridge was literally on the next corner. 41st Ave and 29th Street was where my school was. And then literally 2 or 3 blocks over was Queensbridge. And so now I'm like, my whole life has been flipped upside down. And I'm like, use that as a reason to rebel more. And like I used to get on and like walk to the subway to get on the subway to go to school. And I used to put my headphones on. And at the time, like Get Rich or Die Trying had just came out.
50 Cent.
50 Cent. I'd be walking down the block in Queens thinking I'm fucking hard. But I used to get this feeling in my gut that there was like something like bigger for me. And I can't explain it to this day, like what this feeling was, like some higher power feeling. I don't know what it was. And I used to think like, man, like school isn't it for me. Like I'm not going to graduate and go to college. That's not what I want to do. But that was what everyone did.
Mm-hmm.
All the kids, like, what do? You graduate, you do good in high school, and then you go to college, right?
Yep.
You go try to get a degree and get a good job. And I just didn't see that for myself. I just felt like there was something more for me. And I didn't know what it was. At the time, I thought it was, I'm going to sell mad drugs, make a bunch of money, and buy get a business and go legit. And so I started selling drugs. I did really well. Like, I don't mean to romanticize it, but I did like very well as a pot and at the time an Oxycontin dealer. And I was doctor shopping. I was doing the whole doctor shopping, and I did really well. I remember I had a safety deposit box like up the block from my house in a bank, in a Astoria Federal Bank, and I had $100,000 in cash. And I'm 18. I'm like, holy shit, I made it. I fucking did it. I'm gonna fucking be rich. It didn't work out. I ended up getting addicted to Oxycontin. And then that was my downfall. I found my drug of choice, which became opiates. It started with perks and Vicodins.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm eating 20, 30 perks a day, and I'm like, this isn't working. My stomach hurts like hell from all the acetaminophen, all the Tylenol. And then my friend was like, yo, I got these things. They're called Roxycontin. They're called Roxys or Oxycontin. I'm like, or oxycodone. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, it's like 3 Vikes. It's like 3 Vic 10s in one pill without the Tylenol. And I'm like, really? And I remember we met in Flushing, Queens at a Korean barbecue restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me one. And he was like, yo, try it. So I ate it. Within 10 minutes, I was like, holy shit. This is the fucking
You had arrived.
shit. Dude. Yeah, like I arrived. Yeah, this was it, Oxycontin. And I remember eating dinner that night. I was super talkative. I felt great. I had a bunch of energy. I felt like invincible, And I remember being like, yo, let me get 5 more. And I bought 5 more. I went home. I remember getting on my bed, like nodding out, passing out. And that was like how it started for me, the opiates. And at the time, I knew this guy that had gotten like a crazy brain surgery. And he used to get like 800 Oxycontin 80s a month. And he would give them to me for like $10 a pop. And I was selling them for 50 each. Kids would buy 100 at a time, 50 a pop, 40 a pop. And I was like, this is never going to end. And I was also doctor shopping. So I was seeing multiple doctors, getting Roxys and Xanax and all that. So I was selling weed and pills. But obviously when you're addicted to Oxycontin, there's no, like eventually you're going to crash.
Sure.
And that's what ended up happening. I bought a car. I was going on vacations, partying. And I remember like going back to my safety deposit box and I had like $10,000 in cash left. And I had a full on oxy habit. And I was like, holy shit, what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah, you're going the wrong direction with this.
I'm far in the wrong direction. And so my parents were like, yo, you got to go to rehab. And I'm like, fuck. So I go to rehab.
How old are you at this point?
I was 21.
Okay.
Go to rehab, and I met these kids in there from New Jersey that like were not good for me. They were super cool kids, but we ended up leaving the rehab and finding the Laudeds.
Oh, so you found out how to shoot up then, probably.
And then they taught me how to shoot up. What do they call it? They gave me my wings. That's how they used to
describe it.
When you show someone how to use a needle, they call it giving them their wings.
Jesus. That's the first time I heard that.
Yeah, they're going to fucking fly away and die, you know? And that's basically how I started using a needle. I was shooting pills. And then I came back to New York, and at like the time, all the oxy like dried up in New York.
Mm-hmm.
But what's left? Heroin.
Mm-hmm.
Heroin has always been in New York. So I started shooting dope, and I had some stints of sobriety. I would go away. I went to a therapeutic community for 6 months, a TC.
Never heard of that either.
So they're like behavior modification.
Okay.
Most of like 90% of the people in these places are mandated by drug courts.
Gotcha.
Instead of going to jail for a year, you go to treatment for 16 months or 18 months. And, a lot of these guys would be like, I don't want to go to jail, so I'll go to treatment.
But they didn't necessarily want to be there either.
No, they didn't want to be there.
Or sober.
No. And like the whole place was getting hot.
Yeah.
Because people would, we were there, but like people had to go to court dates. People were able to like get what they called passes, and then when they would come home, they'd get or come back, they'd get drug tested. So like people would be shooting dope, eating Suboxone, bringing back cigarettes and coffee and all sorts of shit like to sell in the facility. It was a crazy fucking place.
I'll bet.
Yeah, it was nuts. Like it was 150 dudes and 90 women.
Jesus.
And it was wild. Yeah. Like I met a lot of really cool people there. I had 3 roommates, and they're all dead now. Yeah, fucked up. Yeah. And I became close with them. I hung out outside. We ended up getting high together. I had one boy, my boy Mike. He was an older guy. He'd be like 51 now. But he was like a kid, like from the South Bronx, 183rd and Jerome Ave, or 187th and Jerome Ave, and in the hood, bro. Like, and I used to go up there with my other roommate, Kevin, who was like an Irish kid from Brooklyn. And he was a straight criminal, though, Kevin. And we used to go up there, and we were hanging out, and we were sober. And my boy Kevin's like, yo, you want to smoke some dust? And I was like, fuck it. So we're smoking dust. Within a week, we all had needles in our arms.
Jesus.
Yeah. Kevin ended up dying 3-4 years ago from a fentanyl overdose. And Mike died last year from a fentanyl overdose.
Sorry for your losses.
And Edgar, my other roommate, this Dominican kid from Jersey City, I don't know where he is. I think he's dead. And I know he like ended up losing it because he was a big dust head. Smoked a lot of angel dust, and he lost his mind. Super paranoid.
Yep.
Thinks the feds are like, even when he's sober. So he like turned schizo basically. But I haven't heard from him. And I knew someone that knew him, and he doesn't know where he is. So I don't think it's looking good.
We are in the midst of the worst drug crisis in U.S. history.
The CDC has named fentanyl, deadliest drug in the United States.
The drug is fentanyl.
My name is Jeremy, and I'm a recovering fentanyl addict. I've overdosed more times than I can count. I believe I was revived so I could carry the message to the addict that still suffers. Silence makes you complicit. You either recover loudly or you die quietly. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to help you save your own life.
Learn more at recoverordie.org.
It's really sad because I got close with all those guys, man.
Sure.
And, we lived together for 6 months in a room.
Sure.
Like all 4 of us in one room, like 4 kids from New York, all different backgrounds. Like one was a black dude who was like a major blood gang member. You had Edgar, who was Puerto Rican from Jersey City, but Jersey City's the hood. And you had Kevin Ryan, who was an Irish kid. His dad was a cop from Brooklyn, but turned criminal. And then me from Astoria, Queens, or from fucking wherever. We were not good for each other, but we were all boys, bro. And like, I can name like 30 kids from that program they're dead now.
I believe it.
And I'm still friends with a few guys though. And one of them, my boy AJ D'Onofrio, he's from Brooklyn. His family was mobbed up to like the fullest. Do you remember the show Mob Wives?
Yeah. I don't think I ever watched much
His
of it.
mom was on the show. Big Ange, her name was.
Oh yeah, of course I know her.
Yeah, yeah. So that's his mom. I met her. Yeah,
Okay.
in the program, they would come up. They had like a father's or family day, and she came up.
Big Angie even sounded like a gangster. She was like
her dad was a super mobbed up. His father was super mobbed up, and his cousin also was in the program with us. Rob D'Onofrio, he's dead from an overdose. His dad was super mobbed up too, all from Brooklyn and Staten Island. But yeah, I just got off the phone with him like a day. He's sober. Yeah, so
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's just crazy, like where like drugs has brought me and the things that I've seen. So anyways, I went to that place. I was sober for like a year and a half. I had shoulder surgery. I relapsed. Then I got like another year sober. I had a major surgery on my face. I had a plate put in my face. I was in the hospital for like 5 days, and they're giving me morphine.
How'd that happen?
In a fight.
Now, out of curiosity, while you're going through all this, have you been training? Are you involved in like UFC type fighting?
So I started fighting when I was 17.
Okay.
So
because you come from a bloodline of fighters. Your grandfather,
my
right?
grandfather on my mother's side was he was really good. He was 38-3 as a pro from Harlem. He was really good. Yeah, he was a boxer.
So you got into fighting around 17. What spurred that? Was it just like curiosity? And you were like,
so at the time the UFC was getting huge.
Sure.
2006, 2005. The Ultimate Fighter had just came out. Forrest Griffin, Stephan Bonner. They had an amazing fight, Ultimate Fighter. And I was on Spike TV at the time. Yep. And I used to watch it every day.
Yeah, me too.
With my now wife, who I've known since first grade. We used to watch it together, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to be in the UFC one day. And so one day me and my boy Randall, he was like, yo, let's go to a boxing gym. So we go all the way to downtown Manhattan, which was like an hour, 45-minute train ride from my house. It just took forever to get down there. And we went to this place called Church Street Boxing. And I was like, this is fucking awesome, but it's too far.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to do this every day. Like an hour there, hour back, you know. And I was young. I was like 18 or 19 at the time. And I'm like, it's too far. But I came back from that going to the boxing gym. And I got off at a stop I normally wouldn't get off at, like in my neighborhood. I walk out of the subway, I look up and there's an MMA gym. I'm like, oh shit. Or it was called Combined Martial Arts. I thought it was a karate place forever. But they were doing jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, Muay Thai, boxing. And I walk in there, I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know this. I thought this was like a fucking karate place.
So now it's around the corner.
So I joined. The next Monday, I had my first jiu-jitsu class. I fell in love with it. And that was it. 4 months later, I had my first amateur fight. I was 17. I fought a 27-year-old. I whipped his ass. Did great. I won like 2 amateur titles. And then when I was 22, I went pro.
Okay, so this fight where you had your face broken, that was it actually in a ref fight?
Professional fight. Yeah, yeah.
So you got your orbital shattered or something?
Yeah, I broke my orbital floor and my medial wall on my right side of my right eye. So I was 9-0 as a pro. I was fighting for the title of the regional promotion that I was fighting for, which was called Cage Fury Fighting Championships. It was one of the biggest regional promotions in the country. And if I was to win that night, I was going to get a UFC contract. I was going to be champion, and I was going to go to UFC. I was winning. I was up on all the judges' scorecards, and in between the rounds, they stopped the fight because my eye was so bad. So I go to the hospital, and they're like, yeah, you're never fighting again. And I'm like, but like I'm supposed to go to UFC. And the doctors just like shook their head. They were like, no.
Unreal. So this is
they were like, not only are you not going to UFC, but you're never fighting again. Like, and I'm like, what the so they're like, we could, pry your eye open and check right now. So I said, pry it open. And they were like, we're going to have to give you a shot of morphine. And my mom and dad were like, he's a recovering heroin addict. And the doctors were like, look, the amount of damage in his face right now, he's going to need painkillers no matter what, because we need the muscles in his face to calm down and for his nervous system to calm down so we can go and do surgery. Because if it's super swollen, there's a lot of swollen inflammation, we can't go in there and do surgery. So they were hitting me with like Valium and morphine to get like my nervous system and all the muscles to relax so they can, go in there and do surgery. So they're like, all right, give it to him. And when they fucking gave me that shot of morphine, dude, I was like, yeah, it's fucking on.
Yeah.
I knew it. My dreams have been shattered. I'm never going to fight again. I got this massive injury. That warm blanket came over me, and I was like, yeah, fuck it. They gave me surgery. That was Saturday night. Monday morning came. I went into surgery. I was in the hospital for 4 or 5 days, and the whole time they're shooting me up with Dilaudid. So naturally, I came out. They gave me a script of oxys
Of course.
to go home with. I sat at home for 6 weeks. I took the pills as prescribed. Everything was okay. And now it's like July, middle of July. It was like 99 degrees in Queens. My parents left for the weekend, and I'm sitting on my couch recovering from this injury in my own head. And like I remember vividly, like all I could hear is like the AC unit like clicking, like and I'm like, it's like Friday night. I don't know. I got no friends around. My parents are gone. I'm like, fuck it. I called the dealer, picked up on the second ring. I had a bundle of dope in my hand in 5 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
And that was it. I went on the run of my lifetime. I was shooting coke, crack, heroin, and I overdosed. So this went all the way into Christmas. I overdosed Christmas Eve, 2015. I woke up in the hospital on the 26th of December, dope sick. Left the hospital, ripped the IVs out of my arm, left the hospital, got high one more time, went to detox, and I've been sober ever since. So my sober date is December 27, 2015.
Congratulations. You're coming up on a decade.
Yeah.
That's a big accomplishment.
Next month, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. And your family had your back the whole entire time?
Well, like, from about October to December, I was missing.
Of course.
Like, no one, like, I was on the run, like, not on the run, but I was, on the street, motels, fucking doing what I could to get by. My parents were like, you can't come home.
Of course.
We're not going to let you die in your room. And then it's our fault, So they were like, listen, you want to get help? We're here. If you don't want to get help, can't help you, but you can't come home.
Out of curiosity, do you do any like 12-step program?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got sober in AA.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I got sober in AA. I do NA. I'll do AA, CA. I don't give a fuck.
Any 12-step meeting, right? Like you get the message.
Yeah, still go. I do all sorts of A's now. I do SLAA, which is Sex, Love, Addiction Anonymous.
Sure. The work never stops,
No,
right?
bro. And when I got sober, I was like, oh, good, I'm sober. Like, everything's great. Within a year of getting sober, I got into UFC.
How did that work? Because weren't you on a show too?
I was on Dana White's Looking for a Fight show.
That's right. Yeah.
So, like, I came out of treatment. I fought again for the title. I won
Oh, good.
by head kick knockout in the first round. I fought, like, on short notice at the weight class higher. I won. And then I defended the title back down at 140, at featherweight 145, against Bill Aljo, who eventually got into UFC also in front of Dana. Dana came to watch. I did very well. He signed me that night. And that was it. I've been in UFC since. Yeah.
It's been a wild ride.
Bro, these last, so in March will be like when I am in UFC for 9 years. I've signed my first UFC contract in March. And man, lots of ups and downs since then, bro. And my disease comes out in all different ways now. It doesn't just, like, I don't, like, when bad shit happens or when I'm stressed out, I'm not like, oh, let me get high. I'm like, let me go do some other stupid shit.
In the quiet hills of Marin County, there's a place where healing begins. A place where alcohol or drugs no longer control your life. At Live Oaks Wellness, we offer compassionate, client-centered care for those struggling with addiction. Our licensed drug and alcohol detox and residential programs are designed to help you take the first step toward recovery with a team that truly understands the journey. You don't have to walk this path alone. At Live Oaks, we're here to help you rebuild, restore, and reclaim your life. Take the first step today. Live Oaks Wellness. Healing starts here.
People act out in their own way. I mean,
Exactly.
gambling, right? Gambling's a big deal.
I'll go into a casino and lose fucking $5,000 and be like, what the fuck am I doing?
Right? 15 minutes.
Like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Or I'll go in and win and be like, I could do this again.
Sure. Well, that's what it is, right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of like the dopamine rush. And that's,
Of course.
I imagine that's probably a difficult aspect of your business because you said in the beginning of this, with fighting, the highs are really high and the lows are
There's
really
nothing
low.
like winning a fight, dude.
And that's kind of how I remember it being. Like for me, I have a pretty even-keeled life today, luckily. I couldn't deal with the super highs of the highs and the lows of the lows. I was in finance, so like the stock market. So like highs are very high. When you make a mistake, lows are very low because like, you know, your job's on the line, stuff like that. So I can relate a little bit to the fact of like just like the peaks and the valleys of addiction. Now that my life's even keeled, it's gotten a little bit easier these days. But like, dude, dealing with the peaks and the valleys every day. Like, I mean, for instance, that Patty Pimblett thing, like,
You know, I had some ups and downs up until the Patty thing. Patty thing happened. There was a silver lining to that because like my name kind of got put on the map at that point. Like, I did very well in that fight. Everyone thinks I won, whatever, I lost. But like my platform blew up. Like I gained like hundreds of thousands of followers. There was like a silver lining there.
And it would have even if you won too for sure. But like, I see what you're saying though. And I'm sure recovery has taught you, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but even there's always something or there's always a reason why something happens. Even if it's looked at as like negative in that moment, right?
Yeah. And so like I've had a million of those moments. So like after that fight, I was supposed to fight Bobby Green. I'm winning the fight. Last 30 seconds of the round, he headbutts me and, you know, drops me from the headbutt. His head clashed right into my temple. I fall down. He hits me. The ref stops it, but they called it a no contest because they saw, like, obviously, like, he just blatantly he literally speared my temple with his head. So they called it a no contest. When that happened, so I got like a decent, like a, not a terrible one, but I got concussed from that. And I went into kind of a spiral because I was like, yo, what the fuck is happening?
Mm-hmm.
I get fucked in the Patty fight. Then this happens. So whatever, I recover. Then I get put up to fight Jim Miller. So I go, this was 6 weeks after the Bobby Green fight. You want to fight Jim on short notice? Okay, they gave me a new contract. I'm jumping in. So I get interviewed on media day. Hey, do you think you're coming back too soon from the headbutt? And I said, you know, I had some symptoms, but I feel great now. I'm ready to fight. Thursday comes, the day before weigh-in. My manager calls me. They pulled me from the fight because I said on an interview that I had some symptoms. Fuck. So now I'm like, what the fuck? Are you fuck? You know, and it costs money to go to Vegas.
Sure.
Fly your coaches out there, hotels, this, that, flights, all the money. I don't fight. If I don't fight, I don't get paid. So they pulled me from the fight. All right, you're not. So now I got the Patty thing, the headbutt, then I get pulled from a fight. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? What did I do wrong?
What am I missing?
Yeah. So a few months go by. I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm done fighting. And I remember I'm sitting with my coach, Jason Stroud, at a coffee shop, and I'm talking shit to him about how much I hate fighting. Also, my manager calls me as I'm sitting there. Hey, do you want to fight in Madison Square Garden against Mark Madsen? Fuck yeah, I do. I was born and raised in New York City. I trained at Henzo Gracie's, which was 2 blocks from Henzo's, from Madison Square Garden. I used to walk by MSG every day and say, I'm going to fucking fight there one day.
Yeah.
My grandfather fought there 3 times.
Wow.
I'm going to fight there. I was born in Manhattan, raised in Queens. Like, this is of course I want to fight.
It didn't matter who you were fighting. Let's go.
Yeah, so I go, I fight Mark Madsen, who was a silver Olympic medalist, Greco wrestler. I knock him out in the first round. Highest of highs.
Yeah, you're back.
Feel fucking amazing. Great. Okay, cool. So then a few months go by. Hey, you're going to fight in Saudi Arabia against Nasrat Haqparast. Okay, cool. I went to Dubai for 6 weeks to fucking acclimate to that side of the world. I trained with my boy Ozzy, who has a gym out there, who's from Dagestan, had a great camp. I go into the fight, I win. They fucking give it to Nasrat, bro. Just like the Patty fight. I'm like, what the fuck? Gotta be kidding me. I'm pissed off, obviously. Whatever. Okay, so then I get a fight. You're gonna fight some guy, some Brazilian kid. He pulls out of the fight. Week of fight week. I'm like, am I fighting or not? They give me some dude fills in short notice. He misses weight by so much they cancel the fight.
Jesus.
So I'm like, what the fuck, dude? They did give me my show money for that though, because I made weight. So that was cool. I didn't have to fight. I still got paid.
Sure. But you want to fight though.
Yeah, I want to fight. 2 months later, I fight Thiago Moises. I knock him out in the first round. Then my next fight comes, which was my last fight, UFC Noche in San Antonio, Texas. Awesome. Big ass card. Main card. All that good shit. The day before the fight, camp goes great. Day before the fight, I get ran over by a car.
What?
Yeah, I'm fucking standing there, and all of a sudden my fucking foot is underneath a tire, and the bumper smashes into my knee, collapses my knee, and I sprained my ACL and my MCL. Day before the fight, I just made weight. It's just 2 hours after weigh-ins. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I'm like, do I fight or pull out? And you don't know like what the UFC is going to say. Like, yo, I'm pulling out. Fight on the day before the fight. There, look at you.
It might be the last opportunity.
They look at you like you're fucking insane. What do you mean you're pulling out? And then they lose a fight, and then they have to pay someone. But like they didn't. So like they get pissed at that kind of shit. So I fuck it. I'm gonna fight. I trust God. I end up losing, and I'm now these last few weeks have been hell on earth. So I get hit by a car. I lose the fight. 2 weeks after the fight, I have shoulder surgery. I just had shoulder surgery like 7 weeks ago. Tomorrow will be 7 weeks. And then like 2 weeks after surgery, I go into my Coinbase wallet, crypto wallet, and there's nothing in there. I'm like, what the fuck? And I look and I see transactions out of it got hacked. And I got like 20 grand stolen from me.
Jesus.
In crypto. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So like these last few weeks have been shitty, bro. You know, and I've been questioning my existence for the last like couple, but what's been helping me a lot though is, and it's like my pride and joy obviously now is my daughter. I had my first child 10 months ago.
Congratulations.
My daughter, Joanna. Yeah, she's the best.
Oh, cutie pie. And this is with your wife who you've known since first grade.
Yes.
Is that random? How did she come back into your life, or was she in it the whole time?
So I met my wife in first grade. We went to school together. I moved to Queens. She moved to Florida. Then when we were 18, she came back up north to go to Rutgers for gymnastics. She was a D1 gymnast. I see her at a party. Oh shit, it's Christina Gambino. We started dating. I drag her through the mud for a few years because of my addiction. We break up for like 5 years. I get sober. I get into UFC. We got back together when I was like 28 or 29. We got engaged, and then we got married 4 years ago.
Okay.
And we just had our first daughter. So
it's a little bit different of a pace than probably training every day and fighting and stuff. Although you probably still have to train.
I still do that, but like I have to take care of a human now. But it's amazing. It definitely puts everything into perspective.
There you go.
You know, like bad shit happens, but like it doesn't really matter because you have to take care of a baby. So like you got to move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like so confused. I'm 37. So like up until this last fight, I was on basically like in my mind the 7-fight winning streak. Granted, the Nasrat and the Patty fight on paper, I didn't get those wins, but like I have the confidence, like because I won those fights, that I'm on a 7-fight winning streak. But it doesn't show on my ranking. Doesn't show like who I'm fighting. Like, you know, I'm not main eventing. I'm not fighting for higher ranked spots. And that shit weighs on you, bro. As a competitor and as a fighter and an athlete, like I should be way further along than I am. And then I go to fight a guy in my last fight who I think like I was definitely better than. I was the favorite. I was a heavy favorite in that fight, and I fucking lose. But of course, the day before, I had to get ran over by a fucking car. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Sure.
And
well, I think that's a huge thing to bring up, and I'm actually glad you're here on this podcast, at least at this point in your career, to be honest with you. And I say that because I don't know, I'm a firm believer, and it's always easy to give the advice rather than take it, right? Like I can talk all I want and say some things to you about your situation, and then it's always really tough to like internalize it myself.
Course, yeah.
But what I see is that like anything that's worthwhile, like you're never just like quote unquote granted, right? Like you won't be able to appreciate it otherwise. I feel like you're on this journey, and it sounds like you're right there, but God just pulls you back a little bit to make sure that you can handle the success of what's about to come, right? Are you worthy? You know, it's like, are you going to give up? He's testing you, right? You're getting tested.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I'll never give up, obviously. But I don't know, like at this point in time, like I don't know what he wants from me.
No.
I know like there's definitely things that could be doing better, I'm sure, as far as like being a man of God and like being obedient and following the law and like being the guy that he wants you to be. But then that's everyone. Obviously, everyone is, makes mistakes and does stupid shit. So I'm trying to figure it out, man. I'm trying to figure it out. And, I have other things going on though. Like I'm in the same industry as you. Like I am partnered with a Diamond Recovery, who I'm basically like, brand ambassador,
Sure.
or whatever you want to, business development, whatever you want to call it for them. And so we're doing a lot of cool things. We do a lot of cool content. I try to help people if they really need like actual help. Like I try to get them into one of their facilities. They have one in Palm Beach Gardens, one in Tallahassee, one in Atlanta, and one here in Cali.
And what's it called?
Diamond Recovery.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've been around for like, I think 4 years now.
Yeah. Big shout out to Diamond Recovery.
Diamond Recovery. Yeah. Like, and they're great. Adam and Ross, the two owners, are awesome dudes.
Really care.
One of them is, they actually care. One of them is a sober guy. And the other one had to deal with his brother who was an addict. So like they get it, you know? But yeah, they do a great job. Their facilities are amazing. And yeah, they're not just like body brokers or whatever you want to call it.
Well, that exists. Yeah. Or, I mean, not so much these days.
Yeah. But it did exist.
Sure.
But they do a great job. And everyone that I've sent there like loved it. So shout out to Diamond. And I'm doing this other thing called Fight Story. So few years ago, do you know Angela Lee? She was a 1FC champion. You know 1FC, right?
1FC?
Yeah, like it's like Asia's UFC, basically.
No, it's first I heard of it.
Yeah, 1FC, One Fighting Championship.
Okay.
They've been around for a long time. So her and her brother were both champions there. She's from Hawaii. She comes from a martial arts family. Mm-hmm. And their younger sister, Victoria, who was 18, was in 1FC, also pro fighter, 3-0 as a pro. And she tragically took her own life from like the stresses and trying to fill the shoes, I guess, of her brother and sister and her parents. A lot of pressure. And yeah, she passed away from a suicide. So Angela retired from fighting, and she created something called Fight Story, which is a way for fighters to tell their story with their journey with mental health and fighting.
That's amazing.
So she wanted to create something called a mental fight kit, which is like a way for combat athletes, like during their fight camps, to like sign on to this platform and to get like mental health resources.
Wow.
So if they're like, depressed or anxious, or they need like, sports psychology, or there's like exercises they can do, breathing exercises, meditations, nutritional support, like anything that they can get to help them along with their journey, so they don't have a story like Angela's sister.
Yeah.
That's
tragic.
Yeah, I'm on the board of directors for that. The UFC came on as a corporate sponsor of ours, and we just partnered up with Karen, the treatment center.
Of course, in Pennsylvania.
Yep, and they have one in Florida.
Oh, okay.
And so they're one of our partners, and then the Meadows also.
Yep, familiar with them. They have one out here.
Yep. So they came on as a sponsor of ours or partners of ours. So we're trying to, we need to still raise a little bit of money to build out this platform. It's almost done though. And then we'll be able to support all combat or anyone that wants to help, with mental health resources. So
That's incredible.
yeah, it's something that I'm working on. We just had a big meeting Friday, big event. It turned out great. And yeah, so it's like funny though, because like everyone, like a lot of people, come to me, fighters, younger fighters, people obviously with addictions or mental health issues, like reach out to me and are like, hey, like how did you do it? Like, how did you go from being a dope head to being in the UFC and being, having this platform? And I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude. Like, good question. And like, everyone wants to know like how I did it. Like, can you help me? Can you help me? And I'm like, can you fucking help me?
Well,
can someone help me?
Well, honestly, them asking
funny.
you for help is really
Does
how
help
it's
me.
helped.
Yeah, of course. But you know what I mean.
I do.
I'm like, so it's like, it's funny how it works though. Like I was speaking at the event that we had for Fight Story on Friday, and I'm up there and I'm like trying to be this like role model or inspiration for people. And like inside, I'm like, man, I feel
You're going through it.
I feel like a fraud. I have my own demons and battles, constantly in my head. I'm like waging war in my head constantly, and like now I have a daughter, I have a wife, and like I got to pay all the bills, and I got to
responsibilities.
It's fucking insane. Like, man, like when I first got sober, it was so easy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm living at my mom's house. Like, I don't have a car. I don't pay car insurance. I don't have to pay a mortgage. I don't have to like care for a little human. So it just gets like harder and harder, which is fine because like I guess like I'm conditioned for that.
Sure.
But yeah, man, I'm still trying to find my way, bro. I'm still trying to figure it out for myself, and I still struggle daily.
This segment of the Pull Podcast is brought to you by Heartwood Home Detox. I can totally identify with that whole fraudulent aspect of things, right? I used to run sober livings and things of that sort as well. And everybody,
That's tough.
at least when you're, so tough, dude. I don't do it anymore just because I value my sleep now.
Yeah,
but
sure, yeah.
Even back then, like you're in these recovery meetings and whatnot, and everybody's always coming up to you. It's like all I'm trying to do is get a meeting in for myself,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
everybody wants to approach you. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's that whole thing where it's people need help still, and it is great that you're able to help them, but I think people put you on a pillar, right?
Oh, sure.
We put on a pillar, but like in all honesty, if people were to ask me like how I became or did what I did in my life or whatever, my answer was just showing up every day. I just didn't stop showing up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like literally, that's the only thing I did right.
That's all I know how to do.
That's it.
It's
Like I didn't even
persevere.
plan for half of the stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you were training and doing some things. Like you had an idea and a vision and a goal.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like at this point in my life, like I don't think it's ever going to be easy. Like I don't think God wants that for me. God's always going to make the road with obstacles.
Sure.
Like I'm going to have to fucking run through a maze with like fire and fucking pits and snakes and animals, like things attacking me and like
that just means he has a higher calling for you, in my opinion, right? Like God gives like his toughest task to his strongest soldiers, right? Like I believe that firmly, meaning like everything that I've ever been through was absolutely necessary for whatever he has in store for me, right? And the way I would interpret that if I was you personally is that like he has this thing that you have that you don't even know yet.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like life just continues to get better, it sounds like, for the most part.
Yeah,
I mean, you're a dad
does.
now, you're married, you're all these things. Like life has definitely progressed from being a snot nosed slanging drugs and and shooting up and stuff. Like I mean, this is
for sure 100%. Like from then to now is like ridiculous.
Right, it's already amazing,
Yeah.
and I'd like to think that it's probably going to get better. You know, especially I just have this weird feeling sitting in front of you right now that like you will be champion one day. Very
Thanks,
similar,
man.
like whatever.
Appreciate it.
I mean, seriously, if you only just started training at 17, like you have a natural ability, obviously, and it's in your bloodline.
Yeah,
You just know how to beat some fucking people up.
yeah, I guess. Like I was always pretty like my cardio was always really good, and I just kind of like had a knack for like, but that's like been my life too. Is like just persevere, like go forward because what else are you? I don't have,
what's the other option?
I'm not going to lay down,
right?
So yeah, it's just like hard to conceptualize like the fact that maybe like I won't reach the goals that I set out before me for fighting. And being able to like step away and be like, oh, I'm okay with like my career. And because right now, like I'm not happy with how my career has gone as far as fighting. And like I'm 37. So like, I got maybe
Clock's ticking.
maybe I got like 3 years, left of fighting. I mean, I guess I could fight longer, but like it would only make sense if I was winning and, getting compensated correctly at that point. But like, so like I'm like, I got to squeeze some real big wins in here these next few years. So like I need to like, my biggest thing is that I equate my happiness and my peace with how my career is going. And that's like the worst thing that any athlete can do, because like you put so much value into like winning and being the best.
Sure.
And then like eventually it's going to end. And then what do you do? Like when you're not a fighter anymore, like I'm not going to be that guy that's like, 50 years old at the UFC event. Like, hey, remember me? Like Ted fucking Bundy, or not Ted Bundy, Al Bundy.
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, I won the high school championship in football.
He peaked.
It's like, dude, your peak was in high school.
Yeah.
And you're, 55 now. Like, get over it. No one gives a shit about your high school football championship.
Right.
So like, I don't want to be that guy,
No, of course not.
But yeah, I guess like I need to grow up a little too, or just like.
It sounds like fatherhood's probably going to do that for you.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, you're still young enough to, dude, 37. I mean, you're a third done with your life. You know what I mean? Especially if you stay in the shape that you're in right now, dude, you got plenty of years ahead of you.
I hope so.
And the fact that you're doing all that other great work with Diamond and
Fight Story.
Fight Story. Yeah. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah. I mean, like, when I'm done, like I want to done with fighting, I want to transition into like more of a, like ownership role in something like that. So I got to figure it out though. So.
I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't put together some sort of like, fight specific. I mean, I know it kind of cuts off your ability to help certain people if like you were like focused on like, dealing with athletes specifically, but that's not to say that isn't a thing, right? I mean, you just got to find your passion right now. I mean, if it's still fighting, I mean, that's going to be your passion. I think you'll know when to hang it up, dude. I'm kind of just more fired up to see you back on a card soon. When's the next fight?
I'm hoping to fight like February or March. Still recovering from the surgery, so I need like a few more weeks, and then UFC closes shop for like a month, mid-December till like mid-January.
I did not know that.
Well, they take a break, like a holiday break. These guys are traveling around the whole world, week after week, setting up events, doing so they need a break. So mid-December is the last fight. Mm-hmm. And then I think they basically stop till like mid-January. So they take a month.
You know who I saw that I think you actually fought too was Charles Oliveira?
Yeah.
Yeah, you fought him earlier in his career, right?
Yeah. Well, it was, earlier for me than it was for him. But yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
It's like 6 years ago.
Yeah. Now he's kind of a big deal too.
Well, yeah, he was champion.
And you got to meet all those guys out in Dagestan too?
I didn't go to Dagestan. I went to Dubai.
Yeah.
My boy Bilal, who's fighting this weekend in the co-main event. He was fighting Sean Brady in Dubai. And yeah, I went out there for like 3 weeks, trained with Khabib and Islam and
that's crazy.
Bilal and a bunch of other guys.
Because they got some good fighters right now.
They sure do. Yeah. Do you see Islam? He's double champ.
Double champ now. Well, listen, I want to make sure to bring it back before we time out here. I want to make sure I bring it back to the recovery aspect of it. There's other resources like 988. There's a lot of resources out there for people that have like the suicidal ideations and stuff. And if there's a message of hope that you want to like put out there, could you mention it?
Yeah, of course. So, like for me, I was a bottom of the barrel junkie, shooting heroin, cocaine, homeless. I was facing 25 to life actually at one point. I didn't even go into that.
Jesus.
Got locked up like 8 times. I've been to 13 treatment centers, homeless shelters, crisis centers, psych wards, hospitals. I think I was in like 33 different facilities because of my drug addiction. And, like there was no hope for me, or I had no hope. But I got sober, and I believed like that God could get me sober. So I gave it to him, and I ended up becoming a UFC fighter. So I'm not saying that everyone's going to be a UFC fighter, but you can make some really cool stuff happen if you just like trust, stop using or drinking, and take suggestions from people that have been there.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how far gone you think you are and how hopeless you think you are, there's always a way out. And as far as like suicide, my best friend Sergio took his own life. And with that too, no matter how hopeless you think you are, you're only hurting others when you do that, and that's not the way to go out. So there's help out there. There's people and places with mental health resources that can help you get better. So just like we've been talking about, persevere, keep going forward.
Yep.
You're going to make mistakes on the way. You're going to screw up. I still screw up all the time. But as long as you keep trying to get better, and the key is that you're willing to get better. It's progress, not perfection, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just keep going forward and just do the right thing and stay sober, and good things will happen.
Good things will happen. That's my experience too. Don't quit before the miracle happens,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Right on. Well, thank you so much, Jared. We appreciate having you on the show, and God bless you in your travels, and good luck with the rest of everything, and fatherhood especially.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.